now that we have done this animation planning and timing, let us now straight away get into Blender and do it in Blender, because I think that is what you all are waiting for. Okay, so here is the first screen of Blender and it will come with this default 3D cube. You can also see that the default duration of the animation will always be set to 250 in a typical default Blender scene. But like we saw earlier, we want this particular scene to be of 24 frames only. Let us first of all reduce this size of the length of this scene by going to the start and end frame panel. For this, just go there and click on end. It will convert to a option where you can type in the number, type 24, press enter, and now you can see the light grey patch has reduced to a smaller size on the left hand side. This is the 24 frame band which is visible. Now you cannot possibly see it clearly. For that, you can use your mouse, go to the timeline window, take the mouse to the timeline window, and to zoom in you can just scroll up. Yeah, if you do this, it will slightly go off the frame. For that, press the middle mouse button and drag it. This is called panning. You can still zoom in by scrolling up, and as you know, if you want to scroll, if you scroll down, you can zoom out. Okay, but this is best possible if you keep it at a very zoomed in level where you can see all the 24 frames very clearly. You can see on the timeline below, you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and rest of the frames. Okay. The second step is where we have to add the objects which will be used in this animation. There are two objects. The first one is the ball and the second one is the surface on which it is going to hit. I will ask Nitin now to help me out when he does it on Blender and I can narrate it. So here we are, we have the default cube in the center of the scene. We thought we will convert this default cube to the tabletop surface. For this, we just need to scale this cube, and you know right now what is the shortcut for scaling, it is S. So press S, keep moving the mouse till it is sufficiently big enough. Okay, I think this is quite nice. After that, just left click, it will be accepted in this particular transformation level. But it has become a big cube now, we want it a flat surface. So we need to transform it into the Z axis so that we get that thin surface. Press S and the axis which is Z and try to transform it till you get it to the desired thickness. I think yeah, this should be fine. Right now we are at a position where we have the surface ready. Let us now add the ball. For adding any object, you should remember that the position of the 3D cursor plays an important role. By mistake, if you have clicked anywhere on the screen right now, then this particular ball will be added somewhere else. Just to avoid these problems, press Shift C to bring the 3D cursor in the center of the scene. Now this is fine. Let us press Shift A to add new mesh object. From the drop down list, select UV sphere and you will get this sphere in the center. But there is a problem because you cannot see the entire sphere right now, and the reason is that most of that is buried under this particular surface. How to see that? So we need to change our viewport. From the user perspective, let us go to the front view and the shortcut is 1. So once you press that, you can see that you have been able to see these objects from a different perspective, but still it is not very easy for you to play with them. That is because you are currently in the perspective view, and as we mentioned earlier, especially for correct positioning and moving of objects, orthographic view is more natural to use. So let us just move to orthographic view. The shortcut is 5. moment you press 5, you can see very clearly a surface and the sphere. So let us start animation now. For that, we know that we have to go to the first frame and do it. We are already on the first frame, but we need to make sure by going to the current frame and checking it if it is on frame number 1. We have checked that. We have to move the ball up in the air according to our planning drawing. Select the ball using right click and move it in the Z axis. For that, just use the blue arrowhead and drag it upwards. Now when you do that, you want to take it sufficiently up. This may differ. People may take it like really long, high, and then drop it, or people can keep it at a very average height. There can be a problem because if you take it too much high, you cannot see it. At the same time, if you are in a different angle altogether, probably you cannot take it at a slightly higher level which you are wanting to, which means that your viewport has to be in such a position where you can see all the objects at a comfortable size. So use your keyboard and mouse shortcuts to get it to the desired sizes. I can zoom out and using my scroll button and get all the objects in the place. I can also pan it by pressing the middle mouse button and dragging it and getting it to the desired position. Once I am here, I can just adjust my ball to the possible height. I think this is fine, and let us add a keyframe at this position. The shortcut is press I and you will get the multiple options here. We want to use location and scale, so click on lock scale and you can see that these two attributes turn yellow in the transform panel on the right hand side, which means that a keyframe is added at frame number 1. Now, as per our planning sheet, it is also clear that we will have the same position of the ball for frame number 24 also. So, since we are here at frame number 1 and the transformation is already there, let us also create frame number 24 at the same time. How do you do that? Just go to the current frame, type 24 there and press enter. You will go to frame number 24, you can see the green line has moved to frame number 24. Press I and now you will be able to get the same drop down, select location and scale again, so that there is a keyframe added at frame number 24 also. If I move my green line on the timeline now, you can see that there are two keyframes at the two ends of this particular scene. One is at frame number 24 and another one is at frame number 1. We need to have the in between frame right now, which is the key important keyframe where the ball hits the surface. Planning sheet tells us that it has to be on frame number 12. So let us go and change the current frame to frame number 12. Click there and press 12 and enter. You see that the green line has come to frame number 12. Select the ball and bring it down so that it touches the ground precisely. Right? Try not to dig it inside the surface because it will look very unnatural when you see the animation. It should just barely touch the ground. And once you are satisfied with this, just press I and insert a keyframe here with the same attributes of location and scale. Press enter and you will see that the keyframe is added. We are done with our animation right now. So it's time to see what we have created. So hold on and press the play button on the player panel on the timeline. Well, this is the first animation you have created in Blender. So congratulate yourself for that, although it is a very primitive animation, but nevertheless it is the first animation. You can also review this animation by pressing Alt A, and whenever you want to stop this continuous cycle of motion which you might get bored after a time, just press escape and you are stopping it like this. Okay, so you have this particular animation ready with you. Let me remind you, please save your file. Now how do you do that? Blender, file, save. This is an important step, don't forget it, because you will lose all the hard work you have done so far. Select the same directory what you have been using for saving all your works so far. I use Samir Blender here, and within that I will just type ball bounce 01 and it will automatically add .blend to it when I say save blender file. This file is now saved, and now I can open it and work on it anytime later on. Thank you very much.